Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbana la tu'akhidhna in nasina wa akhtana. Rabbana wa la tahmil alayna isran kama hamaltahu ala allazina min qablina. Rabbana wa la tuhammilna ma la taqata lana bih. Wa'fu anna waghfir lana warhamna. أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome, dear friends. So we will continue with our discussions of the meaning, like the ascension for our prayers that we do, discussing how the author is explaining the ascension in the prayers that we do. He says that the ritual prayers are the believer's ascension, and we recite this tashahhud, and we say at-tayyatu wal-mubarakatu was-salawatu wat-tayyibatu lillah. And we went through al-mubarakat, we discussed the as-salawat, and where were we? We also discussed the good words are all God's. At-tayyibatu lillah. But I will just revise this a little bit so that we are in the fourth sacred word. We'll continue. So his good words all are God's. Al-tayyibatu lillah. Since many of the truths of the risale-i Nur have been imparted to me, while reciting the tasbihat, following the prayers, quite simply, I have been driven involuntarily to explain by means of brief indications the truths associated with both Surah Al-Fatiha and the words of the Tashahhud. So the sacred word, good words, which was spoken during Muhammad's, peace and blessings be upon him, ascension, refers to the good words and deeds of those with knowledge of God and the believers, and of men, jinn, angels, and spirit beings who possess universal consciousness with which they beautify the universe. So we discussed this kind of the one of the definitions of what ascension refers to is. So as human beings, the worship, whatever we are doing, and recognizing the things and going on in the universe, seeing the qualities of what they point to, and especially the knowledge of God. Those with knowledge of God, recognizing God, and the believers. Basically doing this, possessing universal consciousness, seeing how the universe, whatever is operating, is not by themselves. The things are not doing it by themselves. So realizing that. So they look to the world of beauties and understand fully the infinite beauties of the eternal, absolutely beauteous one, and the perpetual beauties of his name. So continuous beauties of his qualities, which adorn the universe. And they respond to them. So as conscious human beings, recognizing all these qualities manifested in the universe, automatically we said we respond to them with passion and ardor and universal worship. This word refers to the endless good words they utter to their Creator through the fragrant odors of their shining belief. Extensive knowledge of Him. extensive knowledge of him, and praise and laudation. Since good words in this meaning were spoken during the ascension, every day without wearying, the whole Ummah repeats that sacred word in the Tashahhud. So I think we stopped here last time, so we'll continue from here. So yes, the universe is the mirror of an infinite, sempiternal beauty, like eternal beauty and loveliness, and consists of manifestations of it. All the beauties and perfections of the universe come from that eternal beauty and become beautiful through their connection with it and increase in value. The universe would otherwise be a ruin, a house of sorrows, a place of utter confusion. Their connection with that beauty is understood through the knowledge and affirmation of men, angels, and spirit beings who are the heralds and announcers of the sovereignty of the Godhead. It was even imparted to me that there is a strong possibility that in order to broadcast everywhere the beautiful, sweet praise and laudation of those heralds, and their extolling the one they worship, and to send them up to the sublime throne and present those good words at the divine court. The element of the air has been given a truly strange and wondrous state, whereby its particles, like soldiers under orders, are minuscule tongues and ears. Thus, just as through their belief and their worship, men and the angels make known the all-glorious, all-worshipped one, so through making each of those announcers a microcosm connected to the whole universe, through the comprehensive capacities, wondrous faculties, and subtleties of knowledge he has given them, that all glorious and wise one makes himself known in brilliant fashion. For example, he shows himself as clearly as the sun by creating numerous wonderful machines in a space the size of a walnut in man's tiny head, such as his faculties of memory, imagination, and thought, and by making his memory into a large library. So the author has a note about his severe illness does not permit him to continue. This is a due to translation. So what is the author kind of saying here? So the universe is the mirror of an infinite, eternal beauty and loveliness, and consists of manifestations of it. So I would ask, do I see this universe full of beauty, infinite mirror of the continuously manifesting qualities, loveliness, all these beauties and perfections which do not come, are not manifested by themselves. So let's say the flower, the garden, the beauty there does not come by itself. So who has brought that? So the connection between the manifestations has to be made to the one who is manifesting them. And of course, this connection is an important word, through their connection with it. So whatever is in the universe has a connection with the maker, with the owner, with the one who is giving it existence in the way it is. Only through the connection is the value of the thing increased or is seen. So interesting phrasing here, connection and increase in value. So the universe, can anyone say that is existing by itself? Just by happens to be like this by chance, accidentally there, when things are so meaningfully working. The sun follows a particular pattern, the moon follows a particular pattern. So all those seasons are following one after the other. There's an order visible. So cannot be something random or by chance. That's why one has to wonder and question how the connection and the connection to the manifestation of the manifestations to the names. Excuse me 1 second. All right, thank you. So if there's no connection, yeah, what would the universe be, or anything in the universe? Connection with the owner or the Lord of the universe. I don't know. One can imagine what kind of chaotic universe it would become, or ruin, house of sorrows, a place of utter confusion. And it's hard to imagine that when there is no order at all in the universe and nothing is there. Maria, go ahead.
Thank you. So, no, you're right. I was also thinking about, how we mentioned doing the vertical connection, because we're in the horizontal sphere. Everything is from creation to creation. But what we need to work on is really me, the universe, yes, and then connecting to its creator, because otherwise, if I'm just stuck in this relationship of me and the universe, I go nowhere. Really, it's like a dead end. And so you were mentioning about connecting everything to its source of existence. That's really the work we need to do. That's really the challenge for, most of us, at least I can speak for myself. And with this, I just wanted to look into the sentence here. So their connection with that beauty is understood through the knowledge and affirmation of man, angels, and spirit beings. Their connection with that beauty. So that beauty is referring to the source of existence of the qualities I see manifested here. And so that connection is established, or maybe I get to know that connection through the knowledge and affirmation of man, angels, and spirit beings, who are the heralds and announcer of the sovereignty of the Godhead. I have some general idea, but I was wondering if we can kind of discuss this. What do you understand from it in terms of, what are your thoughts on this? Thanks.
Sure. The floor is open to anyone who would like to share what they think. So their connection, so the universe's connection with that eternal beauty is understood through conscious beings, the knowledge and affirmation of men. So men who are automatically responding and acknowledging, respond to them with passion and ardor and universal worship. As a human being, that is kind of expected of me to be making that connection through the knowledge and affirmation of man, angels, and spirit beings, and that responding back were the heralds and announcers of the sovereignty of the absolute being. That's how I would break it down, but anybody else can chime in. So human beings are a factor as a one with the ability given in terms of the consciousness, knowledge. That is how the human being functions by looking at whatever in the universe. One, as one can deduce and see the meaning behind them. For example, looking at your mom or seeing that the compassion, or see that the care that is coming out of the mother is not really belongs to the mother. She's not the source of it, but it's given to her, and exercising it. It points to the eternal quality of compassion, mercy, beauty. So that's what the human being is aware, can be aware. And that's why he becomes and announces and declares all the good words belong to the owner, the God as the owner, the Lord of the universe. Go ahead, Maria.
Yeah, no, this is good. Thank you. I mean, the example you gave is very practical, and I was further connecting it to the example the author gives about the wind, the air, and its particles. But I was more focusing towards angels as well, because, you know, through the knowledge and affirmation of man, angels and spirit beings. I know we mentioned about angels. If I'm not interacting with angels, or if I don't have really a concept of angels, then, you know, I go nowhere. And so I was just looking into the angelic side of things, which is really the meaning that this universe conveys, and then spirit beings. So everything is a spirit being, I would say. Anything we interact with, air molecules and sunlight, these are all spirit beings, as long as I can connect to its source of existence. And yeah, I mean, I think that would go into living with angels, because every moment we have messages coming in, but I may choose not to listen in, which is most of the time. Yeah.
Yep, thank you. So yeah, the air, I think he is using it as a metaphor in terms of how, I mean, our voice is going through the air. So in terms of the herald and the affirmation of men, especially who can speak and glorify the Lord of the universe vocally. So all the sweet praise, laudation, heralds extolling the one they worship happens through air, or through the internet as well right now, or whatever however this is working. Minuscule tongues and ears, so particles, soldiers under orders. So looking at creation actually from a very unique perspective in terms of their existence, their creation, how each one is employed in serving as you said, Faria, about the meaning behind, as angels are representative of the meaning of the qualities, introducing them to me so they carry the message to me. In my interaction with the universe, there has to be the concept of the meaning has to come through how the angels are being put in place to help me get in connection with the absolute source.
Yeah. SubhanAllah, it's interesting you mentioned about airwaves. I mean, how many times we are utilizing all these resources, but we never make that connection of how things are brought into existence. I mean, it's sad actually. Even this whole thing about Wi-Fi, using all this, unless something goes wrong, then you're like, okay. It's mind-boggling actually if we reflect on it. Otherwise, we may just mention this to somebody, they'll look at us like, wait, are you a lunatic? Like, you're crazy? Like, what are you talking about? But and that's the unfortunate reality of the civilization we live in. Hence, we need to talk and discuss further on these so it doesn't look like a bunch of crazy people are talking over stuff that like people don't care about. But I think if we do establish this understanding, like everything that's happening into existence, even our speech, speaking, power of sight, the ability to be hearing, like are things being transported? It should bring light into people's life, and it should shift our worldview. I think we should even have like a subject called like how like even the senses are being utilized, or how the senses are, or like the human faculties are receiving anything. It's really mind-boggling. I mean, yeah, we talk about biology, science, and all this, the atom is transporting this and that, but like things that we utilize regularly on a daily basis, I think that's where things need to be started. I mean, I'm just speaking out loud here, just sharing some thoughts that are occurring, but that's that for now.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Anybody else would like to share anything? All right, so we can continue. Thus, just as through their belief and their worship, so man and the angels make known the all-glorious, all-worshipped one. So through making each of those announcers a microcosm connected to the whole universe through the comprehensive capacities, wondrous faculties, and subtleties of knowledge he has given them. That all-glorious and wise one makes himself known in brilliant fashion. For example, he shows himself as clearly as the sun by creating numerous wonderful machines in a space the size of a walnut in man's tiny head, such as his faculties of memory, imagination, and thought, and by making his memory into a large library. So I guess I was curious also the usage of man and the angels and spirit beings. So all these people, like these creations, are announcing, declaring the qualities of their maker. So that's the purpose of creation of each and everything in the universe. Everything announces in their own way, but human beings and angels announce it in a different way. Of course, we don't know how the angels do, but human beings can announce it in the capacity that they are given. So declare extolling even through their qualities that are given to human beings. We shall now allude to a very brief meaning of the Arabic piece mentioned above, which points out universal proofs of all-encompassing knowledge, comprises innumerable proofs, bringing them together and making them one extensive proof, and demonstrates all-encompassing knowledge through 15 evidences. We shall give a sort of translation of the piece. So it proofs that point out all-encompassing knowledge, all the knowledge through 15 evidences. All right, so he's starting the first of 15 evidences. The balanced order. So the measured regularity and balanced order observed in all creatures testify to an all-encompassing knowledge. Yes, their being in all things, from the universe, which resembles an orderly palace, and the solar system, and the page of the air, whose particles display an astonishing order in the broadcasting of words and sounds, and the face of the earth, which every spring with perfect order and regularity raises 300,000 different species to the members, cells, particles, and bodily systems of all living beings. A balanced order and perfect regularity, which are the works of a profound, comprehensive, unfailing knowledge, means that they testify in extremely clear and decisive manner to an all-encompassing knowledge. All right, any comments so far by anyone or anything they want to discuss? So measured regularity and balanced order, which can be observed. We should see it. But as Faria was mentioning earlier, I was thinking, yes, if you talk like this to anyone, they think you're crazy. So these are not the topics of discussion in the mainstream culture, even in the cultural, religious settings. Nobody talks like observing the balanced order, measured regularity, and that these are testifying examining the universe, seeing each and every element from how they are orderly placed, performing whatever tasks they are meant to do. So the air, the sounds, the earth, members, cells, particles, bodily systems of all living beings. I don't know what's going on within my body as well. But everything is functioning, organized in a very balanced way. I mean, it's just mind-boggling in all living beings how the members, the cells, particles, systems are placed. Balanced order and perfect regularity. And sometimes we are given reminders when something falls seemingly out of balance for us. in our bodily systems, and we have to correct it by following whatever is available within the universe as well. Very incredible how this balanced and regular order is functioning. Brother Ali, please go ahead.
So, thank you. So, attractive subject, still, I am following you from behind because my mind is still stick on the first part that we read today. Starting from today, of course, the وَالطَّيِّبَاتُ الطَّيِّبَاتُ لِلَّهِ. So, of course, the translation from the very beginning, the fourth day, yeah, exactly. So, الطَّيِّبَاتُ لِلَّهِ literally means good things. طيب, good things belong to God, literally meaning, good things all belong to God. But the author translated it, not good things, but specified it. Good words are all are God's, belongs to God. But good words, but there is no specific word, good.
He consciously used the word words instead of good things.
Sorry?
Is he conscious? The author consciously used the words rather than things?
No. The word, original word, doesn't say things as beings in the word or words either. But author says with the good, but plural, in English you cannot say the goods. And then when you say the goods, it becomes a property in English. That's why I found it difficult to translate it. But plural, the good, everything good belongs to God. But the specified to words, good words is interesting. I found it interesting, this part. Now, let's from here, the good words and deeds and now during the ascension in the same paragraph. No. Yeah. During the ascension, in second paragraph, yeah. The Muhammad's ascension now refers what these good words mean. He's explaining during the ascension, the good words and deeds and worship of those, this is important, with knowledge of God and the believers. It means now why it is important, because human beings have or possess universal consciousness. Now, this is interesting. What is universal consciousness? I have been thinking about it, trying to understand about this kind of topics. That's what I was following from behind. Universal consciousness. What do we understand? Anyone? Especially universal consciousness. Now, we are familiar with the word consciousness, being aware of one's existence, but universal consciousness. Because it is important for my understanding to understand universal consciousness, so the following sentences will become meaningful. What is universal consciousness, do you think? Suhail says, able to comprehend the universe in what it makes. Okay, one thing, yeah, thank you. Anyone? Universal consciousness, yeah, able to comprehend. But since Suhail responded, thank you, comprehend the universe in what it means. So do we, let's have a dialogue if you can use the mic. Do you think we have to go and see everything in the universe?
Can you say that again?
Do you think this ability to comprehend the universe in what it makes, what it means, do I have to comprehend the whole universe to understand the universal message?
Well, what I would say is that if you understand one part of the universe, then in some sense you understand the entirety of the universe. So you don't have to look at every aspect of the universe, but when you do understand something, that understanding reflects the entirety of the universe. So like your comprehension is sort of a comprehension of what the entire universe means, even if you only look at one aspect of the universe. That's the nature of human consciousness, I guess.
Yeah, do you mean human consciousness is able to comprehend the message even in one small part of the universe?
All you need, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
This message includes a meaning which is universal. For example, I can say by looking at a piece of art or a book, the author of this book has this knowledge, limited with the capacity of the book. But universe is not like this book that I am taking as an example. Every part of the universe represents the universal quality of its maker, qualities, plural, of its maker. So human consciousness can comprehend this. I don't have to go, as you said, all over the universe to understand that what the universe really means. One part is enough.
Yeah, I mean, all you need is really just one example or one thing, or really just one particle.
Because?
And, well, because the author, I mean, when you understand it, then you understand that the author must be absolute. Unlike your example when you said an author of a book, no limited example, but the author of this book, one particle must be absolute. So that absolute sort of will must reflect all qualities, even in just one particle. So, and the human being has the ability to comprehend all those qualities, even in one particle.
Yes, thank you. So I can say I don't have to go anywhere because absolute means there is no limit for it. So I can generalize saying that even I didn't see lots of things, many places or the parts of the universe, I don't have to see it because one part is enough to teach me or to show me, demonstrate to me that its maker's qualities by definition is absolute. Sorry, not by definition, I'm sorry. this quality of power, knowledge, wisdom, will, whatever, I can see them, all of them, they are absolute. So by definition, absolute should not have any limit. So whole universe belongs to this absolute. That's why we can easily say Allahu, the creator of this peat, for example, this tree must be the Rabbul Alamin, the Lord of the whole universe, owner of the whole universe, creator of the whole universe. That is what human consciousness can understand. Agreed? Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there is anyone who's not there, who's not agree, but it is very logical to me. So what are we going to do with it? Under the very last line, and understand fully the infinite beauty of the eternal absolute, eternal absolutely beauteous one, and perpetual beauties of his names. So another thing. So this. Now, this word refers to this tayyibatu lillah. Yeah, from this page. No, following. Yeah. This word, third line, it means tayyibatu lillah refers to the endless good words they utter to their creator through the fragrant adorns of odors, how do you say, their shining belief, this conscious being's belief, extensive knowledge, and knowledge of him, and praise and laudation. So they are these people who got the universe, who has the universal consciousness that every human being has. But these people are using the universal consciousness now, their universal consciousness, and referring to the endless good words they utter to their creator through their shining belief, knowledge of him, and praise and laudation, tesbihat, tekbirat, tahmidat. So, where was it? I am looking for, am I missing it? No. I understood from here that universal consciousness comprehends the angelic side of the creation. Now, universal consciousness comprehend the angelic side of the creation. This is important to understand this. It is not in the text. Allah. There is this. Where are we? Now now all this. Okay. Let me go through my understanding. Universal consciousness, when it is used by human beings and understood the angelic side of the universe, the meaning of the universe, what are they doing now? Angelic side is announcing through creation, this reality of creation, the absoluteness of its creator's qualities, and human beings are grasping this absoluteness of the qualities of the creator and presenting it to God, it means this is your qualities. God is the Rabbul Alamin here, creator. This is the one who created this universe. That is your creator. That is tayyibat. But we should keep in mind that in order to understand your question, actually, somewhere in the text it says, men and the angels make known the glorious all worshiped one. But we understand men explains it, but how the angels make known the all glorious, all worshipped one God, the creator. So your question was angels that time. That was also my concern. How can I, is it really so? Or how can I understand it? So angelic side is announcing universal consciousness. Those who have universal consciousness are receiving this announcement, and then human beings are presenting it to the creator. This is a tayyibat in the Miraj. And the prophet represents the top universal message, which reached the consciousness, most perfect consciousness of angelic side of the universe, the messages he received from the universe, and presented to God. Now, we have to be, that is what my conclusion was when I thought about it. When man represents the qualities that they comprehended, the human being comprehended from the creation, and concludes and takes it and presents to God, saying that all beauties, at-tayyibat, all beauties are yours, belong to you. Do we not see that men's declaration of this conclusion and presenting it to God in the form of a worshipper, to the worshipped Ma'bud, God, it includes angels also declaration of God's qualities. We have to understand that I'm finding it difficult to express myself. We have to understand that when I say, look, I looked at the universe, first of all, we have to understand, without looking at the universe, we cannot confirm the Quranic message. So I cannot say, I learned from the Quran that all beautiful names belong to you, so I am presenting them to you. It is ridiculously superficial. Why? You didn't confirm it. You just transferred what you read from the Quran and presented, as if you are presenting. This knowledge, this is not really realization, belief, conviction. So we cannot say, I learned from the Quran and I'm speaking to you now with the language of the Quran. It is repetition. I read and say it. But confirmation is needed. Universal consciousness is to be used in this sense. You see the universal message in the creation. And when I get the universal message from the creation, it includes in it angels' announcements as well. angels' declarations as well, laudations as well, praises as well. That's what Quran says. Angels praises and exalts God's names. And human beings learn it from the creation where the angels manifest them and present them to God. That's why in the tashahhud, I am mostly ignorant of it or negligence of it, but we have to bear in mind that when I say at-tayyibatu lillah, it includes the angel's declaration of the glory of God. Does it make sense?
Theoretically, yes, it does. There's a question also. What is the universal message? The whole universe declares a universal message of a source of existence. Because universal message is used also in the meditation circles a lot. In, I think Buddhism or Hinduism also use that as a human being with the universal consciousness. But I think the Quranic view of, or the prophetic universal consciousness is much different then, because
now
there's a response to, yeah, go ahead.
In Fariad's notes, there is an interesting point that we have to make the distinction. What is the universal message? Good question. The whole universe declares a universal message. Now, between Suhail and me, we made a discussion. We said, do we have to see the whole universe? Suhail said, no, we don't need it. So, as a conclusion, the whole universe declares the universal message. But for my practical side, I cannot see the whole universe. I see only a dot in the universe, a dot, only a dot in the universe. Here is a very small amount of creatures I am using and seeing and experiencing. In the creation of the thing that I experienced, in the creation of a tree, for example, one tree, I experienced that the source of existence of this tree must be absolute. Otherwise, it cannot, the one who doesn't have the absolute qualities, they cannot create the tree. That is my conclusion. This conclusion makes my comprehension as universal conclusion. Why? If it is absolute, if it must be absolute, the creator of the tree, then the absolute has no limit. Because the tree is created within the other things around the thing. It means around the tree. Tree is created within the order of the universe. Order of the universe doesn't change. Orderliness doesn't change, which is the next subsection that we read it. Now, order of the universe doesn't change. Okay, so if the tree exists within the order of the universe, and this order of the universe must be universal by definition. Although I didn't see it, but I don't see any disharmony between any part of the universe as far as I can see. I can see now through the tools, galaxies. I see the same order. So it is obvious that the order must be universal. And also, in small part of the universe, the source of existence, I concluded, must have an absolute qualities, must have absolute qualities. Now, the qualities must be absolute. That is my comprehension. The order of the universe doesn't change. That is my comprehension. Without going through the whole universe, I can conclude by definition, saying that the universe witnesses the universal qualities of its creator, and these qualities I comprehend and present this, approve it, confirm it, and present it to the creator of the universe. This is my miraj. This is my miraj. The prophet's miraj must be within his capacity. Somebody else's miraj must be within his capacity. The specific point here, my miraj, the human miraj, if they reach their miraj by comprehending the absoluteness of the source of existence and presenting it to God, saying that At-Tahiyyatu Lillah belong to God. When I declare it, I declare it including the angel's declaration. That is the point, was very interesting. That is why Nursi says, when you say At-Tahiyyatu Lillah, a human being says At-Tahiyyatu Lillah, the Prophet said it in the miracle, At-Tahiyyatu Lillah, it said it on behalf of the whole universe. That's what we studied. How can it how can it happen? How can I say that I'm speaking on behalf of the universe? Yes, I am speaking to the Creator on behalf of the universe because I have concluded this from observing the universe as it is universal as aspect necessitates that only the Rabbul Alameen can have these absolute qualities. So this perfect circle of understanding, I got it from the universe, angelic sides, take the angelic message within me, confirm it, and present it back to the creator of the universe, the Ma'bud, as my conclusion. This is the conclusion of my universe, as much as my capacity allows me. I think this conclusion seems to be consistent to me. Whether it is to you also, yeah, I don't know. Okay, thank you.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. Any comment by anyone? Or so in the At-Tahiyyatu, we have to see the angelic side also of the universe. Their declaration.
No, something.
Oh, you muted yourself. Go ahead.
Not we have to see as well angelic side. No, without seeing the angelic side, you cannot make comprehension at all. You cannot comprehend at all. You can comprehend nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So only through seeing the angelic side of the universe, message in the creation of the things, then we can conclude. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
That everything in creation is message carriers, transporters. Only then will I be able to connect to its source of existence. Inshallah.
Well, exactly. Otherwise, we cannot come to a conclusion. And also, everything does declares its quality, because otherwise they cannot come into existence. Through their existence, they declare it. existence is the source of reality. Source of reality means for human beings, I can learn the reality from the existence of the things. If there was no existence, I would never confirm the reality of anything at all. So that is why the Quran only is not enough to reach belief. Now, Quran only is not enough. Universe only is not enough either, because I would say these are something wonderful, and what does it mean? When I cannot refer it to the source of existence of the universe. Only this window to the source of existence of the universe is given to me, this option, through revelation, specifically the Quran. That's why we cannot separate two of them from each other.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yesterday also we were mentioning about the veil. So the veil are needed as well, because that's what I find myself in creation with. When I lift the veil, only then will I recognize the producer of the veil. I mean, this is how we find ourselves in a universe that has an order. Otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do anything. I'm just imagining right now, just there'll be nothing to do. So the way we find ourselves in the setup where there's this perfect order to things, only through and that's how that triggers us to question also in our reflective journey, and then we should then hopefully connect the dots, inshallah.
The materialist people who claims that they will try to understand the reality of the universe only by studying the universe itself, not paying attention to the angelic side. No, explaining the existence of a tree within the limitations of the universe. There is no way for this man to understand the source of existence, because it says, I will look for the source of existence of the tree within the universe. It means anything within the universe, like the tree, is nothing but like the tree, a part of a being cannot give existence to itself. So we cannot say that the tree is created by air, tree is created by water. This kind of speculations cannot be proven at all. So if somebody restricts himself, herself, within the effort to explain the universe within itself, can never, ever understand the reality of the universe at all. It must have an open-minded. The people must have open-minded. We must have open mind. Can I explain the existence of the universe within its consistent parts? It is ridiculous. I'm trying to explain the existence of the computer within its own component parts. Now, every component part needs to be explained its own existence, so that I will come to the conclusion, whoever made this part must be the maker of the whole computer, because this one works within the order of the whole computer. Logically, they are inconsistent. But unfortunately, because of the obstinacy, they don't want to open the door for other options that I'm going to explain how the parts are all together making the computer by themselves. Impossible, this man, to solve any problem, explain how the universe exists, impossible, to also to solve any problem that the human beings are struggling for, human senses are dying for. And we have to understand this, how do you say, impossibility. As long as one says, I'm going to explain the things within themselves, then impossible to find the truth, the reality. They cannot explain, and they cannot really satisfy their human reality.
It's interesting now that I think about it. I cannot find the existence of anything within this universe. Like nothing is the source of existence of anything within this universe. So then I look for a source of existence. And that's step one, to go somewhere from there. I think the whole groundwork needs to be, can you find the existence, the source of existence of anything here within this universe? And because we're so, what do you say, cluttered with like meaningless ideologies and thoughts and everything, that first we need to like clear that out and be very comfortable with, hey, guess what? I cannot find the source of existence of anything within this universe, and then I can jump somewhere with it, or I can then take the second step. And yeah, just wanted to share this. Thank you. And what's the second step though after this, I wonder?
What we see that for a tree to exist, it is existing within the context of the whole order of the universe. A part of the computer is functioning within the order of the whole computer, not independent. We cannot find. And a part, no one can show me, a part is functioning without following the whole order of the computer. Impossible, logically impossible. And also we are experiencing here in the example of the computer. Every part works within the whole order of the computer. Tree exists within the whole order of the universe. Why? How do I know? Did I see whole universe? No, order. Order is universal. Everything in the interrelated to each other, and nothing can exist without in reference to another thing, another thing, another thing. It means the whole order of the computer, whole order of the universe. So that is why if I can see the qualities manifested in the creation of one tree, I can, if my conclusion says the power who gave existence, the knowledge is operating in the existence of this tree, is functioning within the order of the universe, that's it. I have to come to the conclusion of whole universe must belong to the source of the existence of the tree. The whole universe must belong to the source of the existence of the tree. And the source of the existence of the tree must own the whole order of the universe. A piece functioning in the computer must be owned by all maker of the computer, or by the maker of the computer who made and designed the whole computer. Now, exactly the same way. That is why universal consciousness needs universal conclusion. Universal conclusion needs a source of existence which is not within the universe, cannot be a part of the universe. Exactly, the maker of the computer cannot be within the computer, because it includes whole order of the computer. It must be the designer of the whole computer, of the whole order of the computer. So this designer cannot be within the computer. So if it is not, it means the designer, the engineer of the computer must have a different kind of existence. That's why we can easily comprehend that creator must have another existence level, which is called the absolute one, not part of the universe, not part of the computer, the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't express clearly. I can't. But I feel that this logic, this understanding is convincing for me. I don't know whether I am convincing myself, and it doesn't make sense. That is, it makes sense to me when I cannot deny it.
No, this was good. Thank you. Because, and now I'm thinking about the computer example also makes good sense, because everything within the computer, like all these processes, are happening at the same time. And I think understanding that creation is coming into existence at the same time would solve the problem, because most of the time we get stuck in, oh, because of this happened. I do this, I press this, and this would happen. And this is how, civilization runs. But just comprehending how things are interlinked, and I'm just following the order. And then, we can come to the conclusion of just taking one part, studying it, then we can conclude the whole entirety of something to be pointing to its absolute source. I think just hammering in on just this point, all the processes are happening at the same time, simultaneously, should help us. Because again, the society is just like, oh, you know what, because I do this happened, because I studied hard, I got an A, because I did this, rather than it's all connected. All I'm doing is utilizing my freedom to choose. I'm just availing these opportunities, but they're all linked, and then I see some kind of end result, but in reality it's just creation happening at the same time. Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Thank you. Sohail, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, it's, I mean, to Ali said, and Norsi saying here, it's interesting, like a computer example, really any example you think of, any sort of machine, the modern example, in that no single part can explain the very being of the thing itself. Like, for example, no single part of a computer, whether it's the screen, the keys, the processor, anything, explains the computer in and of itself, because none of them have any sort of knowledge of the computer in and of themselves. They don't really know anything, to be honest. Nothing really knows anything of any constituent part, doesn't know really anything of the greater whole. So no particle of the sun knows anything about what it means to be a sun, but yet all of them together form the sun. And it's interesting, it's the human being which is put at the center of all that, to comprehend all things together at once. to make sense of those things, because the computer or all the constituent parts, they can't comprehend, they couldn't comprehend the very nature of the computer, and therefore who must be making the computer, but rather it's the user itself, like the one who actually is utilizing the computer or reading the book of the universe to actually make sense of all things at once together. That's sort of like the human privilege or human state consciousness. You know, all the parts themselves, they don't really know anything beyond themselves, if they even know what they are. You know, does a particle know what it even is, let alone what does it mean to be a sun? Does any part of the computer know what it is, let alone what it means to be a computer, a part of a computer? But it's the human being, that consciousness, that is able to sort of take all things in together at once and comprehend it at once, such that they can refer to something else. So, you know, I guess that's like what it means for the angelic side, in that, you know, they can't believe in the way that a human being can believe. They just, you know, they are as they are. That's submission. You know, a part of a computer is a part of a computer. That's submission. But anything beyond that, comprehending anything beyond that, is beyond the capacity of those parts. But the human being can comprehend all of those things at once and present that sort of total conclusion about, oh, all of these parts together, they mean that it's a computer and it functions in this way and it has these processes and it has this sort of abilities and qualities, that none of the parts individually could do, but the human being can. And then the human being sort of then presents that conclusion to the maker of that thing. So that's sort of the unique position of the human being, of human consciousness.
So this universal consciousness we're talking about applies to me, the way I view things. And so I can encompass the whole universe with the way I'm viewing existence. So when we were earlier talking about universal consciousness, it applies to me, because everything in creation is just, I mean, if I look at things individually, they're just doing their job. They're just employed. And so if I can make that connection, then I'm able to conclude something universally.
Yeah, I just want to add that, you know, any part, let's say, of the computer can only have a consciousness that doesn't really extend beyond the part itself. So, you know, like a key or processor or the memory doesn't extend anything beyond its own sort of function or component. Like it doesn't know anything beyond itself. Again, if it really even knows anything, but it doesn't comprehend anything beyond itself. But you know, that's sort of the I don't know really what the best word is. I guess maybe like angelic consciousness. That's like the very particular sort of consciousness. It's not, in a sense, universal. It's very particular to the thing itself. It's restricted to their own being, whereas the human being looks beyond that. It can take all things together at once and say, oh, this must belong to one being, one maker, one you know, for the computer, one engineer. That's really the interesting nature of the human being, in that they can make a conclusion that there must be an absolute. You know, they can, you know, just like absolute, nothing escapes absolute. Absolute is in totality, it's complete, it's not deficient, it's not limited. Similarly, in that sense, the human being can comprehend that and make a comprehensive conclusion about the world, that there must be an absolute source by looking at one thing. So that's sort of, you know, the unique nature of the human being, or like when the verse refers to we breathe from our spirit into the human being. So so because there's the imprint of absolute upon man.
I was wondering, as a human being, am I even in a position to speak on behalf of like a particle? So I think now, yes, I'm in a position to be saying that things are just employed. I mean, I was wondering about this. Does a particle have consciousness? Or I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even bother about that, but what I should be concerned about is me realizing that things are just acting on their own. But then there's some kind of communication going on also when I interact with these particles or creation.
If you see the angelic side of it, the message it carries, it must be conscious. If you see the matter, it is unconscious. But matter is the veil. Angelic side is what is reflected on the veil. So what is reflected on the veil is meaningful, but of course, because it says angelic side, only my vision, eye of vision can see it, not material eye can see it. What I wanted to say, oh no, the time is very late, but it's already late. So sorry. The last paragraph, yeah, there it says the universal proof of all encompassing knowledge. Now, universal proof of all encompassing knowledge justifies the conclusion that the universe altogether must be a one unit order, like the part of the computer. Again, simple example. Now, a part of the computer functions in such a way that declaring that the one who designed it, who made it, and who put it in that particular place, must know the whole system of the order of the computer. Otherwise, they cannot really put it there. So the thing cannot be by itself there. That means all encompassing knowledge is manifested in the way that one part of the computer exists and the position of the computer is declaring that. What is consciousness side of it? In the example of the computer, the piece of computer is unconscious, but the way it is made, designed, and located in that particular case demonstrates that the one, it's important, the one who designed it, made it, and located in this particular place must have a conscious knowledge, conscious wisdom, conscious power, must have his own consciousness. Otherwise, he cannot, or the designer cannot choose it, cannot prefer a specific position in the body of the computer. So this side is referring to the consciousness of this order of the universe. So I can say, I see the consciousness of the maker, although I haven't seen the engineer. I can say the consciousness of the maker is present in the angelic side of this particular part of the computer. Did I make, if it is clear for you, that is a great point to me. If it, then I am done.
Repeat, you said the consciousness of the creator is present in the matter.
I can see it.
Mhm.
Consciousness of the maker is manifesting itself in the existence of the part of the computer. And this consciousness is comprehensive consciousness, all-encompassing consciousness. If he didn't know the other parts, he wouldn't be able to locate it there.
I think, yeah, that makes sense, alhamdulillah.
This goes back to the bird example we were referring to last time. When you observe a bird, definitely you see design, art, beauty, and then you also see knowledge. Why? Because someone must be providing it with whatever act it's doing, and that would be a conscious maker or a conscious one is acting on it. So from there I can conclude an absolute source of existence.
Yeah, so the manifestations of a conscious maker, all the qualities you see in the word. Brother Ali, go ahead.
Now, although I don't see the engineer, I don't see his consciousness within himself, where I see it in the existence of the part of the computer. That is why I can say the conscious knowledge, conscious thing is included in the existence of the computer. That's why angelic side of the universe is making conscious declaration, and human beings are comprehending that these consciousness consciously through their universal consciousness and presenting it to God in a universal way, saying that I am saying Alhamdulillah, not only me, everything in the universe is declaring Alhamdulillah. That's why human beings can function as caliph if they reach this level of understanding, which is not difficult. No, which is not difficult, but capacity of understanding may be limited, but this understanding is correct. However small it is, the capacity is small.
What do you mean capacity of understanding is limited?
Consciousness of the knowledge, and it is all-encompassing knowledge, and being aware of the consciousness of the knowledge must have, one must have developed their understanding of this conscious declaration there. The person who uses the computer like I am using, I cannot have a really big capacity of the consciousness of the maker of the computer, because I use only 2% of the capacity of my computer. Typewriter, email, and I don't know what else. A few applications, that's it. But the capacity of the computer, I don't know. So I cannot claim that I understood the whole witnessing of the computer, how they declare the great infinite knowledge of its creator. I cannot say it. But definitely you and Asim, as far as I know, maybe somebody else here, well, Hatice Beyza also is really expert on this subject. So they know, you know, and your capacity is more of the capacity of the computer. So you are much, much more aware of it. You can have more stronger certainty in your conclusion. I am sure the maker of this computer is cautious. That's my iman. But your iman is stronger, larger evidence. So we cannot be equal. Although both of are on the same path.
All right, inshallah. So we'll work on this universal consciousness. Okay, so we can stop here. We'll discuss the next part from here, page 615 next time, inshallah.
Isn't that early? It's just 38 past.
We just begin now, I feel. I just got warmed up.
Yeah, there's things to think about here. For me, at least, yes, developing the universal consciousness. All right. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi hurmati surat al-Fatiha.
Well, I end, we just end it.
I will make you the host and do it.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Thank you, everyone.
Did you stop live stream?